Hello friends of Virtuoso IQ. Here we are on the adventure of the sea. And we have run into a very interesting person. Would you kindly tell us what your name is?
I'm Janet Sussman. I am from Florida, originally Philadelphia, and now I live in Panama, in Central America.
Now, how is that? I mean, how do you go from Philly to Florida and to Panama? Please fill in the gap.
That's a lot of gaps, a lot of routes. But born in Philadelphia, outside of Philadelphia, about 40 miles. And then in 1984, I'm giving myself away here, we moved to Florida to raise our children. And then from there, life happens, a lot of chapters in between. You know the book, All Things Fall Apart? Well, they did, and then some. And '08 crash and a few other tragedies in my life, and just a lot of things. I decided to try Panama.
How is this from Florida, Panama?
Panama.
I mean, how is that?
Well, at the time, I didn't know how many A's there were in the word Panama. I knew nothing about it. But with things falling apart, I lost a son in 2006.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. It was an accident, a construction accident. He fell 40 feet and died. And at that point, my husband had had a stroke 6 months prior.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. And that was at the same age that his father had died from a stroke.
Oh.
So in his mind, he was close to the end. And after our son died, he just gave up. And he said we had bought a farm, and my dream was to have a log cabin in the middle of 5 acres in the woods. Our son was in construction, and he was supposed to build that cabin. The kit was on the truck on the way to Florida when he died, and I didn't think I could live in a house that he was supposed to build. And my husband had given up also, but then my husband said, I just want to go to our property and die. That was his wish, and how could I deny that? I can't say no. And so we got a manufactured home, stuck it on the property real fast. He and my son went up there, my other son, to take care of him. After the '08 crash, there was a hiring freeze. I was a teacher at the time. There was a hiring freeze. I could not get work up there, so my daughter and I stayed in the county where I was teaching, and I went back and forth on the weekends.
Okay.
2010, he finally passed after many, many strokes.
Oh.
And my other 2 children, my daughter and my son, grown up, they had their partners, and I didn't know who I was anymore. You know, my identity of that other mother to all 3 of them, and a wife, a long time. I was married 32 years, and we were together 8 before that. I don't know what to do. What am I going to be when I grow up this time? You know, and that's been my saying every time something changed. I was working 3 jobs and still struggling, and I was going back to school to ward off student loans and all that. And I didn't have any more time in my day, but we needed more money. And so the only time was when I was sleeping. And somewhere I heard of the free zone in Panama. It's like duty free, like in the airport.
So you went over there to buy merchandise and resell it?
Yeah, I was going to sell it online on eBay when I was sleeping, because it was the only time left in my day.
And then what happened?
I fell in love with Panama.
You fell in love with Panama.
It was like I was there in another life. I just, the second I landed, I fell in love with it.
Okay, so you fell in love with Panama.
Immediately.
And?
It was, before I went, a friend in Florida said to me, oh, you're not going to go to a third world country and wander around by yourself. First of all, it's not a third world country. Not first world, but second world, okay. And he introduced me to a friend of his in Panama. He and his friends and all the family, as be the Latin culture, took me around.
Uh-huh.
And in 5 days, I slept a total of 10 hours. I went everywhere, and at that point, you know, I was done. So I think they took me to some places, I think really to show the gringa how some people live. And what I learned was, by United States standards, some people have less than nothing, but they're happy and they're generous. with what they do have. If someone on the block makes soup, everyone will eat. Might have a little more water in it, little smaller pieces of chicken, but everyone will eat.
Yeah.
And there's music, there's dancing in the streets, there's someone will buy the beer, the dominoes come out, and yo no sé mañana. You know,
Right.
if they don't have 25 cents to get to work tomorrow, they'll walk or they won't go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
Plain and simple.
yeah, and that was it. You know, I was just so sold. So I didn't start that business. Instead, they talked me into starting this shuttle service. I'm sorry.
What are we talking about here now?
Okay.
Shuttle service. What is
Okay,
this?
okay.
We're talking about reselling merchandise.
Okay, that
and
went
now
down
suddenly
really
we're talking about shuttle service.
Well, you know.
What's going on?
And we've met, so that's me. So I got there, and when I landed, I realized the taxis were not painted yellow yet.
Okay.
And a lot were broken windshields, no bumpers, not a one with an up-to-date license plate, if a license plate at all.
Welcome to Panama.
Bienvenida, Panama, you know. So they talked me into, let's start the shuttle service.
Ah, well, who is they?
The friend of the
Okay.
friend and the family
Okay.
and the extended, you know.
Okay.
And so we started a business, and we bought a van in the States,
Okay.
$2,300, a Pontiac, which I found out later they do not service in Panama. But that was a good thing. Shipped it down, okay, and
how was that good? No parts.
But no, that is good. Oh, the eternal optimist. It was good because that gave me the excuse to keep going back and forth, bringing the parts.
Now we're talking. Now we're cooking.
And then, you know, you have a friend who has a cousin who knows somebody down the street
Right.
that can fix it.
And they can swap the parts.
Yeah, or rig them so that they do. And so did that for several years until we had to finally put that poor van to rest. It was time. It died.
Friends of Virtuoso IQ. We're talking with Janet. What happened after that?
Well, then it was again, what's next this time? So,
Oh, you are still in Panama?
No, I didn't live there. I was just going back and forth at that time, 3 years. From
okay.
2009 to 2012. Every
Okay.
couple of months, I took my $79 Spirit flight and went back and forth with my parts in hand, you know, to back. Okay, well, what's next? I'm in love with Panama, and I'm here in the States, and I'm happy there, and I'm not happy here, and what do you do? And so I went, okay, I was a teacher. I'm going to take a professional leave of absence.
From your
From
teaching in the U.S.
Florida, yes, which means you must have a contract, and it's supposed to improve your teaching by opening your mind to culture.
Right.
And it would be teaching English. So I got the job. I took the leave of absence
Oh, you got a job
in Panama.
Oh.
In Panama, 1-year contract.
Very
And
good.
I packed everything up, gave it away, said I'll see you in a year. And I went to Panama, and the day that I landed, the school closed.
Ah,
So I did not have a job.
no
And-
teaching.
No teaching. No teaching.
Okay, so what do you do for money now?
You start pounding those sidewalks. And
Okay.
you walk from 7 in the morning until 9 at night because I had no car. 25-cent bus though. And it's raining. And there are language schools all over.
Okay.
So, toka. And I got not a job, but jobs here and there, hour here, hour there. And I would go from one side of the city to the other, all up and down, all over the place.
And how long did you do this? You know, canvassing, you know?
I did that for about a year. No, not quite a year. And then I got a job in an international school-ish.
Okay.
Small one. Wasn't paying much. So took that job for very little and taught in English there. And then in December of that year, I think 2013, 2014, I got a job at another international school that was more
All right.
professional.
Okay, so at this point in time, you're still teaching in private language schools. And for how long did you do that? From beginning to end?
I did that. I got there in July 4th actually, of 2012. And then in the private schools was I think 2017. They were not paying my Social Security as should have been.
Oh,
They gave me papers that said they were, but then I found out they weren't.
oh no.
And so I sued them. I think
Okay.
the first, and got a settlement.
Okay.
And okay, what now?
Now you are out of a job again?
Now, what do I do when I grow up this time? And I thought, well, let's see if I can do it. I started a language school. Let's see if I can start another
Okay.
company in a foreign country for me.
Okay.
Did that, took off like a rocket.
Very good.
fantastic. But then it was like, I'm retired. I don't want to work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. So
Okay.
off I go again.
Okay.
What do I want to be when I grow up this time?
So now you are off for like the 10th time.
Yeah.
And what are we doing then? What are we
So-
doing for money?
Then I still had the settlement, so I was okay
Okay.
with that for a while. And I
All
made
right.
an investment with that, and that was bringing me a little bit.
Okay.
And then I still had some side teaching, some individual clients.
Okay.
Well, I want to settle down and kind of really don't know where. I had seen a good bit of it, but I didn't know where I wanted to settle. And had wanted to buy something. The way I found out they weren't paying my Social Security is because I went to the bank for a mortgage and they said you have no, they call it features. They're missing.
Oh my
So
goodness.
it's okay, you know. What if I didn't learn anything else in my life? I learned that right behind bad things are the best things. There's a saying: we plan, God laughs, because He has a plan for us that we could never have concocted in our lives. And so I thought, well, how am I going to figure out where to settle? I was living in the city at the time, just over the bridge of the Americas. And so I thought, well, let's see, I heard about house sitting.
Okay.
So house sitting is taking care of people's pets and their
Okay.
homes while they travel.
Okay.
There isn't most times there isn't an exchange of money, especially internationally, because there's tax
No?
issues and things. No, it
Then so how do you do for money?
don't pay rent. I have free accommodations and a place to live in some place that I probably couldn't afford
Yeah,
lunch.
but what about, the meals?
Oh, I'm retired.
and transportation?
I'm retired, so I still have Social Security and a retirement.
Okay,
And then I
okay.
teach online also. I
Okay,
teach English
okay,
online.
okay.
I
Are
love-
you still teaching online?
Still teaching online. I love
Okay.
it because it's that culture fix that I get. Talking to people from all over the world about their
Okay.
culture, their politics, their religion, in a respectful way, of course.
Okay.
But love it. I love it. I love it.
Now, you said that you are still teaching, but we are on a ship right now.
Good question.
I mean, how do you manage to teach when I see you dancing every freaking night?
Well, I'm full of sayings and idioms. So another saying is, if there's a will, there's a way. Yes, I'm on the ship and I'm out dancing every night. Yes, thank God. But I can block my schedule, and then I go to my cabin, or I go to the restaurant, or I go to the pool, and I give my classes.
To where now?
Lisbon, Portugal.
All right. And what's going to happen when you get to Lisbon?
Okay, the wonderful friends that I've made on here. One of them lives in Portugal. I did get a house sit in Portugal, so after 2 days in a hotel, I will have 5 days in a house sit in the city of Lisbon. And one of the young ladies here has invited me to go out dancing her style on Friday
In Lisbon
night.
también.
In Lisbon.
Caramba!
No, I can't wait. A new dance that I can't even pronounce, but oh well. I'll learn it. Or
You
I
will
won't.
wiggle it. You will wiggle
I'll move
it. Which is the
something. I'll
thing.
move something. Maybe the wrong direction, but I'll move it. And I have no shame. So yeah, and then I go to Porto because I've never been. This is my first
Okay.
time on the mainland of Portugal.
Okay.
And then to Spain near Malaga to visit
Okay.
friends, and they are taking me to Morocco.
Caramba! And when will either Panama all the USA see you. Because, I mean, the way how this agenda sounds, it's like
I
this
love
is
it.
forever and ever.
No, my daughter calls me fabulously homeless because I just hop around and around, but I love it. So November 24th, I take another cruise, the same ship, back to Florida.
Wonderful.
The, Madeira, Portugal.
Okay, and is that departing out of Lisbon also?
Out of Barcelona.
Oh, out of Barcelona.
So I make my way over to Barcelona.
Caramba. You gotta be renamed. The Globetrotter Janet.
I'll take whatever you give me. And and going back a little bit to, yes, there were some horrible times in my life.
But there are some wonderful
But
now.
They are, and I don't think I would appreciate them as much as I do if I hadn't been through such horrible times. Every morning, the first thing I do is send up my gratefuls. And they could be the tiniest little thing like, yes, I can stand upright after all that dancing last night. Thank you, Lord. Or, look at where I am. Look at this life. It's amazing. It's really amazing.
If you could put your finger on the best experience that you have had on the adventure of the sea, what would that be?
I'm going to cry. Meeting these group of now lifelong friends, the dancing together, the sharing of everything together, and we've made a WhatsApp group, and we're going to stay in touch. We're going to visit each other if at all possible, and if not, we have this moment, this 12, 13 days that nobody can take away.
Wonderful, wonderful.
It's here. It's solidified right in here.
Now, what would you improve, if anything, out of this experience?
On this ship?
On the ship.
That's a tough one, I have to say. I've been on a number of cruises. It's my best so far. The staff is amazing, and there's so many activities. My goodness.
Now, when you reflect back on your friends back, either in Florida or in Philadelphia, some of the sedentary ones, the ones that don't do much traveling, what message could you send to them based on your traveling experiences?
I think just step out of your comfort zone. And a lot of people will say to me, oh, I wish I had your life. Well, you can. Why? What are you prioritizing with your dollars? If you want to go out and explore, if you want to travel, if you want to try something new, just do it. I had, when all things fell apart, I had 2 4-bedroom homes full of antiques. And I didn't think I could part with those things. And those things were what was holding me back. So once I had put things in storage, when I lost both homes, the one in Tarpon Springs, Florida, where I raised my kids, and the farm. I lost the farm, as they say. When I lost them, I put what I had left in storage. Came back one time and I took the key and I went to put it in the lock and I stopped. And I thought, what do I have in here? Now I travel around. I have a car in Panama and I have a car in Florida with all of my worldly possessions. My one in Panama I call my Barbie car because it's about this big. and in Florida I stay with my son.
What would you like your next chapter in life to be like?
I will get back to Florida December 7th. I will spend till January 29th with my family. January 29th I have another cruise going to Panama, going through the canal.
Cool.
Other places I've never been, so I'm excited about that. In August, I will have a milestone birthday. And this is my year of rebellion against that number. And I decided that every month, on or around that date, the 13th, I will do something. It's a bucket list item, daring myself to do something, stepping out of my comfort zone.
Just share 3 of those things that you're going to do during your
You don't
birthday.
know this, but I did it last night.
Uy, uy, uy.
No. My daughter and son-in-law had said to me, I love Latin dancing. It is in my blood. The only thing about me that is not Latina is this face. My heart and my sangre are Latina. And so my daughter and son-in-law said, you know what you have to do, Mom, this year? You have to join a salsa competition. Well, I'm not that good at salsa, and I dance with the viejos, and they never learned 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. They just dance. So, and I don't like all the and all the steps and the choreography because I can't remember. So I just dance. So last night they had Dancing with the Stripes on the ship. And I was talking to my daughter and son-in-law. And
you went on the competition.
I did it.
More power to you.
I got 4th.
Congratulations.
I didn't do as good as you. I got 4th.
Congratulations. I am so proud of
I
you.
called them right away and I said, guess what? My son-in-law went, Mom, you did it. You did it, Mom. You did it.
So we got one. Tell me 2 more. Any one of them.
One is to go to Coiba Island in Panama.
Okay.
It used to be a prison before.
And number 3?
3 is a road trip to Costa Rica.
Well, friends of Virtuoso IQ, you have been enjoying this world experiences, through the eyes and the senses of Janet. Janet, as we get to the end of this interview, please tell us something that will motivate anyone who sees your amazing trip through life.
Do what's in your heart. Do what you're passionate about. Step out of your comfort zone. And if it's travel, if it's picking up a new hobby, a new language. Nací cerca de Philadelphia en un pueblo pequeño, se llama North Wales.
Okay. Y dime además, por favor, ¿cuál es tu lugar favorito en Panamá?
En el día.
Okay.
La ciudad, porque hay baile y hay mucho hacer, pero hay muchas playas bonitas.
¿Cuál playa te gusta más?
Gorgona. Nueva Gorgona, porque mi primera playa en Panamá.
Well, friends, now you see. The proof is in the pudding. The woman speaks a second language.
A veces.
Oh, excellent. Thank you once again.
Yeah.